Are you looking for a delicious vegetarian option to serve a crowd this year? I've got a great recipe for you. It's a delicious sandwich. It's like a vegetarian muffuletta. It's a grilled vegetable sandwich. Very excellent, very delicious. Everybody's going to ooh and ah, and you're gonna be super happy, and everybody's gonna be a vegetarian from there on out. So if your goal is to get everybody to be a vegetarian, make this sandwich. I'm starting off by picking some parsley. I need a half a cup of parsley for my sauce. I'm just gonna set that aside for a second. I have 1 medium eggplant here. I'm gonna slice it up because you need to salt it for about a half an hour before you grill it. When you salt your eggplant, it pulls out some of the moisture and it pulls out some of the bitterness. So it's a good thing to do. Most recipes do recommend to do it. You just need to slice it about a half an inch thick. You can do it crosswise into rounds or lengthwise. The recipe does say crosswise, but I'm a rebel. I'm gonna do it lengthwise today. So there, so slice it into half-inch pieces. The thing with eggplant is you wanna make sure that it's thin enough that it cooks all the way through before it burns, because undercooked eggplant is kind of disgusting. Then you wanna put your eggplant into a colander that's in a bowl, because some of the moisture that's pulled out is gonna pool in the bottom and you want something to catch it. And then sprinkle 3/4 of a teaspoon of coarse salt on it, give or take. Make sure it's coarse though, you don't want too much salt. You don't want it to be too salty, but the salt is gonna pull out the moisture. Make sure that both cut sides get salt on them, and then you just need to let that sit for about 30 minutes before you grill. Okay. To make the sauce, I have a half a cup of parsley leaves, washed, dried well. A half a cup of pitted olives. I have a combination of Kalamata olives and Cerignola olives, a green olive and a black olive. But use whatever kind of olives you want. Just make sure they're pitted, okay? 2 pepperoncini, and then just pulse everything together until the parsley is chopped. I would eat that just like that, but it's not really a spread. Add a 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. You can actually just stir this in. I'm just gonna pulse it in because, well, I'm already in the machine anyway, so why not? That's what I say. Done. You don't need to add salt or anything because olives are really salty, and so is mayonnaise, really, for that matter. Scrape it into a little bowl, and then you're gonna use this to spread over your sandwich before you layer all those delicious grilled vegetables on. Back to the grill. And now for something completely different. I'm gonna grill my vegetables. I have a zucchini here and a couple of small tomatoes. Just slice up your zucchini. Slice the zucchini lengthwise, about a 1/4 of an inch thick. Grilled zucchini is actually super delicious. It really intensifies the flavor. It just gets really caramelized and kind of sweet almost. And then the 4 tomatoes, slice those a half an inch thick. It's actually 4 small tomatoes. These are Carey tomatoes. If you can't get those, use plum tomatoes, totally fine. Cut them in half-inch slices. You want to slice things according to how long they're gonna cook. So the tomatoes are really soft. They should be thicker. The zucchini and the eggplant are more dense. They'll take longer to cook, so you want to slice them thinner. And then add your eggplant too. You want to just scrape off any excess moisture so that it doesn't get added into your vegetables, and then toss everything with about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And then you can grill it. Because the eggplant is already salted, I'm gonna put everything on the grill and then salt the tomatoes and the zucchini on the grill so that the eggplant doesn't get over salted. Okay, my grill is already preheating, so I'm just gonna oil my grill a tiny bit. It's clean already, and the veggies have oil on them as well, but better safe than sorry, that's what I always say. And then just grill away. You want everything to get a nice char and be tender all the way through. Sadly for me, this is a very small grill, which means I need to work in batches. If you have a regular grill at home, you're doing this outside, you certainly won't need to. While these start to grill, I'm going to get my bread ready. It's a nice big round loaf, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it in half and make my sandwich right inside this bowl. And then what you wanna do is scoop out a lot of the inside of the bread, leaving about a half an inch of border. You can save the inside of your bread to make breadcrumbs or something like that. What you're doing is making room for all of those grilled vegetables and that yummy sauce, but you want to make sure that there's something to encase it, but you don't want it to be too thick because it'll make it really difficult to eat. Make sure to save the insides to make breadcrumbs. Don't throw it away, that would be wasteful. Okay, you know what I forgot to do? I didn't season my zucchini, so I definitely need to do that. And then I'm gonna turn them over. It's all about flavor, people. All about flavor. Turn them over. You wanna make sure they're nice and charred. I kinda do like cooking these a little bit more slowly than like a steak, for instance, because I don't want them undercooked and I don't want them burned. And surprisingly, things can be both undercooked and burned at the same time, believe it or not. There's nothing more depressing than a burnt and undercooked piece of eggplant. I mean, I guess there's probably something. Can you imagine if there were nothing more depressing than burnt eggplant? That would be awesome. Spread half your mayonnaise mixture into the bottom and half into the top of your bowl. And then over here, I have a jar of roasted red peppers that I just drained and patted dry, and I'm gonna layer those in. Layer of roasted red peppers. You can always make your own if you'd like to. Use one whole pepper. It's a good idea if you want to grill all your vegetables ahead of time and then assemble your sandwich so you're not waiting around for the vegetables to grill. Just set the veg aside as they're done. Make sure that everything is nice and tender and pliable. I'm gonna sneak in some tomatoes while I'm at it. Tomatoes won't take very much time at all, a couple minutes. All right, now we're getting somewhere. The tomatoes are looking good. I'm gonna take those off, some of them anyway. Just wanna make sure that your eggplant is cooked, and the best way to really do that is use the tip of a knife. It should really, really easily go in and out of the eggplant, and then you know it's done. Pull it off. Let your veg cool. The great thing about this is that because you want them a little bit cool before you put them on your sandwich, you can make them ahead. And it's also a great way to use leftover vegetables if you've had grilled vegetables for dinner. All right, layer everything inside of your hollowed out bread. I like to put the tomatoes in the center so they sort of make a sauce that drips throughout the rest of the vegetables, but it doesn't make the bread soggy. It's my theory. I don't know if it works or not. Cover it up, and then you can eat it right away, or you could wrap it up and put it in the refrigerator. It should last for about 4 hours, really, really nicely. I think I'm gonna cut up a wedge and show you what it looks like on the inside. And there you go. It's a beautiful, delicious, luxurious, layered vegetarian sandwich, good for a crowd, tangy and delightful. It's gonna mess up my lipstick, but I'm gonna try it. Smoky and delicious. So good. Grilled vegetarian muffuletta. Hi guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click here if you want to subscribe, and click over here if you want to continue watching more great videos like this.